Hello, ladies. Jaki Sabourin here, and today I am bringing you another live video because we're going to be connecting all week long. And this week's series is dating tips for women over 50. But I want you to tune in if you're not 50, if you're under 50, because here's the thing: the tips that I give are practical tips, and they will apply to women of all ages. And so I really want all of you to tune in. And specifically the ladies that are over 50, because I know that you need a little more support. And so all week long, again, I'm Jaki Sabourin. Those of you who don't know me, I'm a love coach, and I teach women how to deliberately date and consciously create the man of their dreams. I married my own soulmate match husband, Michael, after being single for 8 years, and I'm still on the honeymoon, and I'm back to help you get engaged at any age. And I'm really excited because tomorrow is my husband's birthday. And I'm excited that I'm celebrating another birthday with him, another milestone in our life. And I really want you to find your beloved this year. And so by tuning into these series all week long is really going to help support you getting out of your comfort zone and getting out of your own way so you can have the success that you deserve. So what I really want you to do, if you like the content that you've been receiving over the last couple of weeks, then please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube and then on Facebook if you like my page. And the reason why this is helpful is that you're going to get notifications that I'm going live. So if you forget, or if you're out somewhere and you really want to jump in on the broadcast, you will be able to catch it live and ask me questions. And then if you're not able to be on the live broadcast, that's okay. You will know that there's a recording, and you can jump on YouTube or Facebook and you can access the recording. And so please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like my Facebook page. And I'd really appreciate that. Okay. And so ladies, thank you so much for being here again today. I want to talk to you about tips for dating over 50. And the biggest tip I could give you is I want you to date from the heart. I want you to date from the heart at any age. But what I mean by dating from the heart is not in your head. Our head is telling us that he has to be perfect, that he has to look like this, he has to have all these things. But really, when we come into our wisdom years and we become a little more emotionally mature, our values and our criteria really does shift. And what we think we needed when we were 30 really does change when we're 50. And so I would like all of you to evaluate and update what it is that you want today, not what you wanted last week, even what you want today, what you need in your life today to make you happy. And so checking in with what you want is really important. That was really the first tip I'm going to give you, is to know what you're looking for. It's so critical to know what you want. And then the second piece is why you want that. Why do you want to be engaged? Why do you want to be married? Why do you want to be in a committed relationship? Be really specific. I found it really interesting. I talk to women all the time and I ask them that, and they really have to pause and think about it. You really need to give more thought and create more intention, be more intentional in why you want what you want. I mean, why exactly? I mean, a man's going to ask you this. You know, my husband asked me last night, why do you love me? And it's a great question, right? It's a great question. Why do you love me? And why do you want to be in a relationship with me? Why are you happy with me? And it's a great thing to actually share with a man that you're in a relationship with. They love to hear that. Sweetheart, I want to share with you why I love being with you. So you really need to know what your why is in order to do that. And I don't want you to sit there and have to think about it. You should know this. And the only reason you don't know it is you haven't taken the time to ask yourself that question. Why do I want to be in a relationship? And here is why it's so important to you, because it's really going to help you stay rooted and anchored to your dream of having a relationship when things don't turn out the way you'd hoped initially, when the going gets rough, when somebody doesn't call you back. You really need to know why you want that so that you will continue to take the steps forward to have what you want, so that you don't give up. I mean, a lot of people give up right before they're going to manifest whatever it is they're manifesting. But if you have your why written down, someplace where you can see, it will help you to stay on course and help you have the success that you want. And so what do you want and why do you want it? That's my big tips to begin with. And now I already mentioned this, but let's talk about perfectionism. Perfectionism is a real killer. Perfectionism is really about not trusting yourself, and it's really an avoidance tactic to keep you from moving forward. Because when you're like, everything has to be perfect and he has to be perfect, you don't have to really examine what's really going on, because you can use that as an excuse. It's your mind's excuse to keep you from making decisions. And it really comes from a lack of sense of self-trust. Perfectionism is really, I don't trust myself to make decisions. And so your mind creates rigid rules about how he needs to look, what he needs to do for a living, what his background needs to be, and that keeps you stuck in a box of limiting beliefs. And that's why it's so important to drop the perfectionism. There's no such thing as a perfect man. We're not perfect. They're not perfect. We're just looking for the perfect one for us. And here's the thing with perfectionism and why I want you to drop it like a hot coal. It's because authenticity is the new sexy. Being authentic is much more attractive than being perfect. So if you find a man that's real, you're going to be much more attracted to him than a man that's perfect. And if you show up more authentic and not needing to be perfect, then he's going to be able to be relaxed in your interactions with him, your conversations with him. He's going to come across more authentic and genuine because you're showing up more authentic and genuine. When you're stuck in perfectionism, you can show up being very disappointed or confused or doubting yourself. Again, it goes back to self-trust. That you doubt whether or not he's right for you, and you're looking at him like, not sure if I like the shirt he's wearing, or he doesn't really have a lot of hair, or he underdressed for the occasion. And then you go into judgment, and it takes you out of being present and in the now. And so you start to sabotage yourself. And so I hope that really helps you really understanding how perfectionism is a veiled form of avoidance and a veiled form of lack of self-trust. And so you want to just, like I said, drop it like a hot coal. You don't need a man to be perfect. What I found with Michael, what I really wanted from a relationship before I even met Michael, is I wanted a man that was ready now. I wanted a man that was wanting to be in a relationship today. That was like the biggest criteria. It was like I met some great guys, but they weren't ready for a relationship. And what good is that to me? I was looking for the man that was ready for a relationship and willing to grow. That is really powerful. Willing to grow. So a man that is maybe not perfect in some other areas, but he's willing to grow with you, then you can co-create a relationship when you have both parties are willing to live a path of self-improvement, self-expansion, and personal growth. That to me is so exciting. Way more than any looks or any kind of external things. That was really my biggest criteria. And he had that. He wanted to grow. He's willing to grow. He was anxious to grow. I mean, anxious, looking forward to it, excited about the fact that I was valued personal growth and evolution and expansion above everything else. That got him excited, got his juices flowing, thinking, yeah, I could really create something with this woman. And then whatever you want to create externally is exponentially those opportunities show up exponentially, because when you're co-creating a relationship, the sky's the limit. You can create more abundance, more travel, more security financially together, because you're co-creating, because you're willing to grow and expand. Do you see how it's all connected? And so that's a really big piece. I hope you're really taking that away, especially all of the ladies watching this call, not necessarily the women over 50. And I have some notes here. Another tip that I will give you is really important that you really look at if you are dating online or if you're dating in real life. You really need to start planning out wardrobes and planning out what you're going to wear. Yes, you can meet a man coming out of yoga in sweaty clothes. Sure you can, but hey, first impressions go a long way. So why not show up in something nice? I mean, why not, put on a little coat of lipstick on your way to the grocery store and throw on a pretty bright scarf? If you're wearing your sweats, I mean, put some thought into what your appearance is saying about you. And I know we all have those moments when we're running out the door, and those, don't overanalyze this, but make it important. If you have an online dating profile, make sure those pictures are really representing the match that you want to be for a man. In other words, if you want a man that's like A, then you need to be the match for him, like B. So you guys come together, how he's dressed in your mind's eye, you're showing up in your profile pictures with those clothes on. And also in real life, you're dressing so that in case you run into somebody out wherever you are, you're dressed in a way that you feel confident in, and you look and feel sexy and confident and beautiful, whatever that is for you. So be mindful of what you're wearing. And also, I'm going to do an episode on what to wear, specifically the whole your dating wardrobe. But along with those images and then real life clothes, eye contact is so important. When you're out in real life and when your profile pictures, you want to make sure that eye contact is conveying a message that you're open and you're receptive. And I say receptivity looks like a soft eye. Thank you for the love. I love all those little hearts on Facebook. Thank you. And thank you, ladies, here on YouTube. I really appreciate you being here. And so make sure you're using eye contact and smiling. That is your biggest asset, that smile, because your smile can really send a warm, inviting message that you're receptive and you're open. Whether or not he ends up coming over and talking to you or not, it doesn't matter. Just being open everywhere you go, being more receptive, practicing it at all opportunities, at restaurants, the grocery store, in line, talking to people. It's training you so that when you do meet him, you're not all tongue-tied, right? And you're smiling and you're looking at him. And the only thing you need to remember to say is, how's your day going? How's your day going? Just remember to say that so you won't get tongue-tied. And so the next tip I want to give you is you have to step out of your comfort zone. I don't know if you read my email today, but I was talking about how your comfort zone is a kiss of death. And so if you want to get on my mailing list and you want to read my emails, you can just sign up for either my soulmate assessment, or you can sign up for my ebook that will put you into my database, and then you'll receive my emails. And today I was talking about how comfort zones is like a kiss of death. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone so you can have a new experience. So just making peace with that, coming to terms with your comfort zone is your current state, and there's just no evolution in it, and there's no man in it. Every day I step out of my comfort zone. Michael's birthday is tomorrow. I had to step out of my comfort zone and figure out what to do and call people. And it was a little stepping out of my comfort zone. I have a busy schedule on Monday. So I'm just using that as an example. Every day we need to continue to reach out of our comfort zone, because especially as we age, we need to continue to challenge ourselves so that we can keep our mind alert, and we can stay alert, and we can stay really relevant, right? Relevant to what's going on, relevant to today's fast-moving pace of different topics, and we just want to stay relevant and stay relevant at every age, and not go into this I hate to say the word, but the only thing I can think of is old lady mode. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it's a mentality where we could stop learning, and this is just the way it is. And we start accepting things for as they are, but that's not the way they are. It's just the way that you are allowing them to be. So I'd like to challenge you to, on a daily basis, step out of your comfort zone, do something, even small things that will change it up for you. Get up an hour earlier, get up when it's dark. I do. And embrace watching the light, the sky change. If you did something small like that, go on instant message and start chatting up men. Get out of your comfort zone. It feels good. You feel alive, and it can be exciting. Yes, awkward and uncomfortable, but in that awkward and discomfort, your zone grows and you can hold more and have more. And so I also want you to date up. I challenge you to start smiling at the men that are really good looking that you normally would look away from. I want you to start approaching men, in the grocery store, asking them for help, and date up online. Go for the doctors, go for the lawyers, go for the men that you might feel like, oh, wow, they have a higher education than me, or they have this or that. Men don't care about those things. What men are looking for are women that are fun, genuine, authentic, and real. That's what they're looking for. So don't judge yourself by degrees or your titles and roles in life. Judge yourself by your value system that you place on yourself, and recognize how valuable you are, and a man will too. So I want you to start dating up. And I think you're going to have fun with that. And what are the other my notes? Oh, I want you to also, by watching my broadcast and subscribe to my channel, I want you to start educating yourself on how to understand men, how to talk to men, commit to that. It's really important because as we get older, and especially if you haven't dated in years, or maybe you've lost someone, your husband or a partner, and you're out of practice and you have a lot of fear, you need to educate yourself on how men communicate different than women. And so I will be teaching a lot about that. And it's really important. And you can search my channel right here on YouTube for different topics. I created playlists for you, and I'm organizing them in a way that'll be easy to find my videos, so that, and also post in the comment box if you have a topic that you would like me to cover. I'd be happy to facilitate that for you. But you have to learn to talk to men, and you have to learn to use a feather. Okay, men respond so well to this feather, and they do not respond well to a sledgehammer. And so, this is just such an important thing, is to understand that men are different than women. Obviously, you know that. They communicate differently. And if you would just drop the resistance on needing to be right, and start to understand how different men are, I think it's really going to help you in communicating with them, because communication creates connection. And then the last thing I want to say, and then I'm going to take questions, is no more excuses. I want you to stop making excuses when you lose 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 2 pounds, when you get your hair done, nails done, when your kids leave for college. Life's happening now. And you can have happiness now. I know my kids were so happy that they finally saw me in love again and happy with Michael. It changed the trajectory of my whole life. It affected my friendships, my relationships. So don't put your love life on hold. Don't put you on hold and your dreams on hold. Make them a priority. And when you do that, all the rest of the people in your life will understand. And if they don't, then I wouldn't consider them a good support system for you. And so I hope these tips were helpful to at least give you the courage to get out there. And so let me take a couple questions. Let me look at the YouTube questions. Happy birthday to Michael. Thank you. That was really sweet. I'll pass that on. Yes, he's in Aquarius. What is the right time to meet his mother? Great question. Well, I would let him decide that, but I would it's up to the man, knowing his mother and knowing the relationship he has with her. And so I would say that once you are in an exclusive relationship, it can be shortly after that. I mean, sometimes we end up just not accidentally, but sometimes, accidentally meeting loved ones. I wasn't planning on meeting Michael's son, but we were coming out of his condominium, and his son was coming in. And so I ended up meeting him spontaneously. And that was fine. So sometimes that just happens. And so I would just defer to his wisdom on how he feels that would be best done, whether that's a formal meeting, whether it's casual, whether it's in passing. So talk to him about it. And I would think that when you're exclusive, his mother is going to be more interested in meeting you. But here's the thing with me and my son. I'm open to meeting my children's friends, partners, anytime, because I want to be in their lives. So I say, I'm mature enough to recognize that I don't know the future, but if these people are important to my children, then they're important to me. And so that's why I don't have a limit on how many people I can meet, how often. They're younger, so they're dating and they're in relationships, and maybe that will change. So defer to the man. I hope that answers your question. And so let me see another question from YouTube, then I'm going to jump over to Facebook. And I found an amazing man. He said he wants to marry me. He's telling everyone, I feel like I'm in limbo. What do I do now? Carry on my normal? And so what I would do is say, okay, wow, that's a pretty bold statement. I would have a talk with him using your feather and say, sweetheart, I'm like over the moon excited about this declaration you're making to everybody. And I really need to feel safe right now. And how I could feel safe is if you would tell me your vision is for us. And to be honest, when somebody when I hear that announcement, what's missing for me, and I would say this, is the engagement ring. You're making an announcement to everybody, but we're not really formally engaged. So when's that going to happen? I mean, that's a big piece. And so I'm not saying that you need to propose right now and give me a ring, but I'm saying that we need to have a discussion around that, because traditionally we make that announcement after we've been engaged. So how do you want to proceed? What's your vision for us, sweetheart? I'm so excited to hear this. So if you are excited, I would embrace it with excitement, and then really sitting him down and asking him to lay out the plan for you so that you can share with your loved ones that you're going to go ring shopping and all this. And yeah, and unless he doesn't give you those answers, say, well, let's hold off on making that announcement until we can come to some understanding about how it's going to unfold. So it's so important that you speak your truth. This is all about speaking your truth and not giving your power up in this relationship now, because here's the thing, you want to have a voice in the relationship, right? And if he's making these announcements and you're on board, then say, great, let's co-create this next experience. Here's what I would love and what would make me happy is that we go together and pick out a ring, or if you have something in mind, let me know what that is. And ladies, as far as rings go, I need to have a whole series on this. You need to be very crystal clear on the kind of ring you want. So when he asks you, you don't give him 5 different things. You give him one suggestion. Oh, what would make my heart sing is a solitaire diamond. That's what I love, is a solitaire diamond with a halo around it. Just be really specific. One thing. Don't change your mind, because he's going to go to the jewelry store and there's going to be 1,000 rings, and he might go, oh, I'm too overwhelmed, and leave and not buy you one thing. But if you're really clear, and now mine's a radiant cut. This is a radiant cut, and I really wanted a radiant cut because it casts a lot of light. And it also, radiant cut stone, most of the stone is set up on the top, so it looks bigger. And that's just what I wanted. Not that I wanted it to look bigger, but I like that it casts a lot of light, and it's also covered in a halo of diamonds around that. And these are really popular setting right now. So I just wanted a yellow diamond because it reminded me of Maui, the sun. So I had my reason. So I was very clear, so it wouldn't be confusing to Michael. So I hope that helps you. Now let me answer some questions here on Facebook. I'm just reaching up. Can you please give a few tips on how to start loving yourself? Yes, I'm going to take a breath because this is a really big question. Well, the best way I can describe to making sense on why we don't love ourselves and how to love ourselves is, I want you to just imagine that if you have a child or not, that you have a little daughter and she is so precious. Think of a little girl right now, a little 2-year-old, 3-year-old girl, or even a baby. Just imagine this tiny little girl, the cutest little cheeks, and she's got a tiny little mouth, and she's the sweetest little voice, and she's just pure love, right? Little girls are pure love. And how could you not love a little girl, right? And I want you to just now imagine that little girl is you. She is you. She lives inside of you, right here in your heart. She always will live there. That's your little inner child. And if you don't love yourself, you're essentially saying that you don't love that little girl. Now, I've never met a little girl that's not lovable. So if you can connect yourself to that little inner child that lives inside of you, and realize that she needs you to love her now, not tomorrow, in this very moment. She's been waiting her whole life for you to wake up enough to realize that she still lives inside of you, to reconnect to her. What happens when we don't love ourselves? That we are disconnected from ourselves. And that's what emotional unavailability is. You've abandoned yourself, your very own little inner child, by avoiding yourself because you have said that there's things wrong with you. You're not perfect. You're not lovable. You're not worthy. Well, I say those are all a bunch of limiting beliefs that are not true. And you have to stop buying the lie, the rational lies. Yes, we've all made mistakes. So what? That's what we do. That's how we learn. But that little girl inside of you is really needing you to reconnect to her. So I want you to just take her in your arms and scoop her up right now and just give her all the love that she needs. And that's really giving you all the love that you need. Put your hand over your heart and connect with her. And you'll start to feel the love that is there for you. Because here's the truth, ladies. We are love. We are love. And so it is a return to love. Marianne Williamson teaches this all the time. Return to love, return to yourself. Come home to yourself right now and recognize that you have all the love inside and it's always been there waiting for you to access it. And so just drop the thoughts that there's anything wrong with you and connect with that part of you that's longing and misses you and needs you to connect with her. And as an adult, you are prepared to do that, because you are an adult. That part of you that doesn't feel lovable is just that immature part of you that hasn't grown up emotionally. So I hope this helps, ladies. And so I want to just thank you all for being here. I'm going to continue to answer the questions after the broadcast in the chat box. So please continue to post, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like my Facebook page. That would really help me out if you're enjoying the content. And if you want to be here tomorrow at noon, I'm going to be covering, I don't have my topic for tomorrow, but it's all related to helping you feel comfortable dating over 50 and beyond. And ladies that are under 50, you know, my dating tips are practical and applicable really to all of you. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow, or at least watch the replays. Okay, ladies, have a wonderful week. I'll see you tomorrow at noon and 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Lots of love to you. Thank you for being here. Bye.